Welcome to Box and Base, and on today's episode, we're going to be going over some of my free agent predictions. I won't be able to cover every single player who's going to be a free agent, but I did write down some that I think are the more interesting and the ones that I feel strongly about. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. First up is Kyle Tucker from the New York Yankees, or going to the New York Yankees, what I meant to say. I think they let Juan Soto go last offseason. They didn't pay as much as the Mets. So I think they finally make that big free agent move and sign Kyle Tucker. He batted 266, 377, 464 with an 841 OPS, 22 home runs, 25 stolen bases, 80, 87 walks with a 14.7 strikeout percentage. He can play both left field and right field. I think he gives them that versatility in the outfield, and I think it's good for them to allow Judge to rest, meaning he can DH a little more in 2026 and they sign him. And he he gives them a mix of power and speed, which I think is something that Yankees lineup can really use. I mean, he hit what 22 home runs last year. I know he spent with some injuries towards the end of the year, but I think at Yankee Stadium he could be a perennial 30 homer guy. Next up is Kyle Schwarber, and I have him going to the Cincinnati Reds. In Great American Ballpark is one of the best hitter parks. This guy just hit 56 homers last year or this past season. I think, I mean, it's an exaggeration, but I literally wrote down that he can launch 80 home runs in that ballpark. He would be amazing. Schwarber would have launched home runs there, like I said. The Reds need a big power bat. They don't really have a set DH. He would fill that incredibly well. I'm not the money man. I don't think he will get a crazy, expensive contract. I think his AAV is going to be somewhere around 30 to 32 million per year. And Schwarber is also from Ohio, so bring him home would be a ton of fun for that Reds team, a Reds team that just made the wild card, and I think should go and get upgraded. And next up, we have Framber Valdez. I have him going to the Detroit Tigers. He would be reunited with AJ Hinch. And I understand there's probably some character concern, especially that one moment he had uh, towards the end of the season this past season, where he basically like crossed up his catcher on purpose because he thought the catcher didn't make a good call on the pitch, and then he ended up like being upset about it. I don't really care. Put him back with AJ Hinch. I think he'd be feeling good in Detroit, being reunited with a former manager. I mean, this past season, he pitched 192 innings, a 3.66 ERA, a 3.7, a 3.7, a 3.37 fifth, a 1.245 whip with 187 strikeouts to 68 walks. The Tigers need somebody behind Skubal. It's probably going to be Skubal's last year in Detroit. You need somebody to sign who can pick behind Skubal. That's been the big problem for the Tigers rotation, and I think Framber Valdez would give you consistency behind Skubal. Next up is Josh Naylor, who I have him going to my Miami Marlins, and you can see back there, or right here, I'm a Marlins fan, and I really think the Marlins need to fill that hole at first base. Marlins have a black hole at first base for so long, and he would be the perfect fit. Fun fact, he was a Marlins former first round pick. I wish they hadn't traded him away, but that's what the Marlins knew. This past season, he hit 295, 353, 462 with an 816 OPS. He hit 20 homers, had 30 stolen bases, which is a big surprise for a guy like Josh Naylor, and he had a 16.2 strikeout percentage, so he doesn't really strike out a lot. Marlins are not known for spending a lot, but Naylor I think would fit in perfectly. I don't think he'd be that expensive, and I think they can go out and do it. My only concern is that he is a lefty, and they already are a lefty-heavy lineup. But hey, either way, I would do it. Next up is Pete Alonso, and I have him going to the Boston Red Sox. The biggest positional need for the Red Sox is first base. They cannot keep relying on Tristan Casas. He's dealt with injuries, and he hasn't been consistent when he's been healthy, so they need to address that position. And I think Pete Alonso would be amazing there. A right-handed option to give them right-handed power would be great. He would make the team, in my opinion, more complete to go along with the young core of Roman Anthony, Marcelo Mayer, and Tristan Campbell if he can make his way back to the MLB. And while it's really hard for me to see Pete Alonso leaving the Mets, I think the Red Sox would be the perfect fit for him. Next up is Bichette. He had a down year in 2024, but in 2025 he really bounced back and he was amazing. As of this time of recording, he's played in Game 1 of the World Series. He was not on the playoff roster throughout the run that the Blue Jays have had, but he was added to their postseason, to the World Series roster, and he played in Game 1. He didn't play the full game. He's still dealing a bit with that nagging knee injury, but he did come up big in Game 1. Throughout this past season, he hit 311, 351, 483 with an 840 OPS with 18 home runs. I do believe he probably would have hit 20 to 25 home runs if he was fully healthy. He did miss time, like I said, at the end of the year with an injury and didn't play at all in the Jays 2025 until he was added, postseason run until he was added to the World Series roster, like I mentioned earlier. But I can't really see his market being amazing. And if he's willing to play second base, I do think his market gets a lot better. But I think the Blue Jays should just go ahead and resign him. Why not? They got the money. I feel like it's perfect fit for them right there. And then Alex Bregman, I have him going to the Detroit Tigers. I know another guy going to the Tigers. But I think they can really use an upgrade at third base, another consistent bat in that lineup that can be a proven power and can be proven leadership. He was injured a significant portion of the 2025 season with the Red Sox, but still put up decent numbers in 114 games. He batted 273, 360, 462 with an 821 OPS and 18 homers. He would be a great leader in that clubhouse and could pair well with Riley Green to add to those 36 homers that Riley Green hit. And I feel like he would just be a good addition to that lineup. They were a little inconsistent in the playoffs, and I think he would add another layer to that lineup to help them really compete and continue to contend in the American League Central, anyone when they get to the playoffs. And last but not least, I have Kazuma Okamoto going to the San Diego Padres. The San Diego Padres haven't had a true power hitting first baseman in a long time, and I think that's what he would provide. He could help them be very productive alongside with Manny Machado and Tatis. They could use that help. And in the MPB, he had 247 home runs over 11 seasons. He's a lifetime 274, 355, 501 with an 856 OPS kind of hitter. Japanese players like to go to the West Coast. That's been noted. Otani went to the Angels, and then he went to the Dodgers. Yamamoto went to the Dodgers. I understand there's a lot of other factors, but relatively speaking, they like to go to the West Coast. It's better for them, and I think Okamoto would be a great fit for the San Diego Padres, especially because he would be a power hitting first baseman that has, I think, good hit tool. And I know I didn't mention Murakami, but I do want to mention that I do think Okamoto is going to translate better to the MLB than Murakami. That's why I'm putting Murakami. That's why I'm putting Okamoto over Murakami on the Padres. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if there's any guy I didn't mention, make sure to drop him down below and let me know where you think they're going. But this is my 2026 free agent prediction. Let me know yours in the comments below.